because we spend a lot of energy on the woe is me, how is this going to come together? If you get out there, you do the work, it will come together. Do not have a sense about yourself that you can't function because you're waiting on someone else to do for you.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. I think it's so fun to do interesting, different themes, and I thought, how fun would it be if we took the rest of February and made it Black Entrepreneur Month in honor of Black History Month. So the rest of the month, we're going to be talking to Black entrepreneurs about their journey from quitting their jobs to starting a business. And wow, we have got some great ones coming up. Today, we're going to talk to Alvin Woods. Alvin is the creator of The Media Model, a PR firm a branding and PR firm, I should say, in New York City, and he's got such an inspiring story because this guy is all about personal responsibility. He knows, as every successful entrepreneur knows, that the only way that you are going to get anything or have any success is if you roll up your sleeves and take complete and total responsibility for your own success. And Alvin has done that, and he's going to talk to us and give us some really great lessons about how he has grown his agency to be as successful as it has been. Now, before we jump into that interview, I want to remind you that we have opened registration for March Shift, and you can get into that over at howtoquitworking.com/shift. And Shift is a mastermind group for people just like you who want to quit their job and start a business. They want to have a network of other people who want the same thing out of life right there to support them and encourage them as they go after their dreams, just like you're doing, and everyone does who is listening to the How to Quit Working show. So go over to howtoquitworking.com/shift, jump into that program. It's a great, great program. We've got a great group so far and having a lot of fun with all of our shifters. Now let's talk to Alvin Woods of The Media Model. Alvin, welcome to the How to Quit Working show.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. You know, I know it's a busy time of the year for you. You've got Fashion Week and a couple other things going on with your clients there in New York. And I really appreciate you taking out the time to talk to our listeners about quitting your job and starting a business.
Well, no, I appreciate you. Very honored to have the opportunity.
Excellent. Well, tell us a little bit about what was going on with Alvin before you started this company.
Well, oh, wow. How much time do we have? Before I started my business, baby, The Media Model PR, I was working in this discipline of communications, working more specifically in corporate public relations and entertainment advertising. And I am from Louisiana, and I moved here right after graduate school to pursue a career in corporate, communications. And I found myself in this rut of New York City of there being too many cooks in the kitchen. There was a lot of hierarchy happening, and I wanted to be a creative. I'm in this business to be an influencer and to make decisions.
Yeah.
And before I started this particular business, this was my day job. PR was my day job. I was just working for a bigger entity, a bigger agency. And what I realized is that I was doing 95% of the work. I was working, anywhere at any time between 12 and 15 different clients, different accounts, and I was doing so much of the work, and as a novice, junior or mid-level person, you don't realize, how far these budgets stretch, these monthly budgets stretch. And, I had a conversation with a mentor who made it very clear to me that I was doing the majority of the work and I was getting paid a fraction of the cost. And I started to put my ducks in a row so that I could then step out and build my own agency. Again, sitting on a master's degree in communications, it was always my goal to have my own agency. And 3 years ago, almost to the day, I was able to step out on faith and start my own agency.
I love the story. So you're sitting there working for somebody else, and my understanding is, I'm not real familiar with the field, but I understand when you're in the low and mid-level positions of the advertising PR world, you really don't get paid a whole lot of money. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. You're working 60 hours a week and you're barely cutting minimum wage. Wow. It's like working in fast food almost, as far as the wages that you are receiving.
Wow. So you're sitting there saying, okay, I'm not making squat, and I'm doing everything that I would have to do if I was starting a business. I know all the parts. Now all I got to do is kind of make that leap. One of the things that you said I thought was really interesting, you talked about getting your ducks in a row in order to make that transition. What does ducks in a row mean in this situation?
Yeah, and I think for each person, it is individual ducks, to your respective career. And for me, again, someone who is from Louisiana who had no network when he moved here during the summer of 2007. For me, my ducks started with making sure that my education and my expertise level was of quality. That was the only way for me to get a foot in this door of not having a network in New York City. So, I showed up the summer of 2007 with 2 suitcases and not necessarily even knowing where I was going to lay my head that night, but I knew that I had an internship to report to the next morning. So for me, it was to get my ducks in a row education and then make sure that I had the absolute on-the-ground training to do what it is that I wanted to do. Right after graduate school, again, I jumped into corporate advertising, corporate PR, and corporate marketing so that I could get a full sense of the business, the communications umbrella, because the agency that I am running is a brand strategy agency. We are a public relations media shop, but we are a brand architecture agency. We are not just regurgitating what clients want us to sell to the public. We hone the messaging. So I knew that was my overall goal. And for me, my ducks in a row was making sure that I had on-the-ground training in every discipline in the number one global market in the world so that I could compete on a global level.
I see. So it meant for you, I want to know this industry, I want to know how to do everything, and I want to build a network, and I want to be sure that when I create a company, it is the best damn branding company that is out there.
Absolutely. Pound for pound, I tell anyone who will listen to me, pound for pound, I'm one of the best brand strategists and publicists out there. And I think that my track record business portfolio of my agency, 3 years in the media model, my staff and I, we have, amassed a great, consistent track record of moves for our clients, whether it is fashion clients, kids' books, sexual erotic thrillers, TV personalities, educators, health and wellness products. We run the gambit as far as what we are able to do and the traction we're able to bring to our clients. And we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't have the on-the-ground training, not only in PR, but in advertising and marketing, because it's about branding. We can't take something that doesn't move. If it doesn't have quote-unquote PR legs, I can't move it for you. So it was for me to understand and get, again, my ducks in a row so that I knew exactly what it would take to move any brand, regardless of your niche or industry, from A through Z.
Excellent. You are just exuding passion. It's just,
Thank you.
It's spilling out all over the place. Where does all that come from?
I think it's built in. I would credit that to my family. I would credit that to my foundation. I have always known that it was up to me to succeed. This is something that my family instilled in me from day one, and I have never rested on the laurels of anything. I wake up alone in this game, and don't cry for me, Argentina. I wake up alone because I know where I am in the process, as in I'm not creating a lane. You see, I'm not trying to create a lane so I'm in my own lane. I'm trying to create my own highway so that I have all of the lanes. And I think that the more passionate you are about your business is an indication of how you will succeed, because I'm passionate about doing this every day. I don't feel like it's work. You see, I tell anyone, again, who will listen to me, that I am here to make people famous or infamous, depending on what you're looking for, and that's what I love to do.
Amazing. Tell us a little bit more about what do you mean by creating a highway versus creating a lane?
Absolutely. Creating a highway versus creating a lane. Again, I'm a brand strategist and publicist. I'm not just a PR guy. I do not accept clients who come to me and think that they have their messaging 100% wrapped up and they want me to just go out there and fight for media features with, a bland strategy, something that they've given to me and I'm regurgitating. When it comes to creating my own highway at the Media Model, we create opportunities. For instance, this upcoming weekend in New York City, in our backyard, we have NBA All-Star Weekend and we have Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week happening simultaneously. Here at the Media Model, we have muscled a client onto the official New York Fashion Week calendar, which is accredited by the CFDA, which is the Council of Fashion Designers of America. That is the end-all, be-all as far as fashion is concerned.
It's a pretty big deal.
It's a pretty big deal. And on the the entertainment side with NBA All-Star Weekend, every event is men's focused. It's urban entertainment, and that is how those events work down. I have curated alongside a client an event that is women's focused. It's for business women, affluent women who aspire for greatness. It is the only event of its caliber taking place in New York City during NBA All-Star Weekend. So, that's an example of creating our highway. We're not looking to play in the same space as everyone else is playing. We're not looking to have just a lane and while everyone else is telling us what to do. We are the influencers. You're getting on our highway.
Fascinating. So you can either play somebody else's game or you can make your own game, and in your own game you get to set the rules. That's so cool.
Absolutely. You get to set the rules and you get to switch the rules and be fluid and make sure that you are moving in your likeness always, but making sure that you are bending to fit the equation. That is a problem that many entrepreneurs have. We're always trying to fit a circle into a square because we are so stuck in our convictions of what things should be. But everything is a process, and in that process, things change. So what I have learned is to be fluid, and in being fluid, it has allowed me to take on that mentality of creating my own lane. Creating my own highway instead of driving down a lane on the side of someone else, so to speak.
Absolutely. Amazing stuff. Alvin, I love your passion. It's so cool. It's so inspiring, and our listeners love to hear from people like you who are just this passionate about what they're doing and love every second of it, even though they're working really hard, because How to Quit Working isn't about not doing anything. It's about doing something that you love all day long. Tell us a little bit more about how did you figure out the business aspects, because there's no question you know branding, publicity, marketing, all that stuff. But how did you take that and how did you fill in the gaps in your knowledge, or if there were any, in how to start a business?
Well, I think, I am a born leader. I'm someone who has always taken that type of initiative. I'm the guy who had a job at 14 years old working the counter at McDonald's, and by 16 years old, I was a crew chief who was promoted to night shift manager as a junior in high school, and I was hiring my friends in high school to work at McDonald's. So I've always had this entrepreneurial, I am a business leader type of spirit, and for me, I really learned the business ins and out at my university, Southern University and A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is the largest historically black college or university in the country. The master's program in the mass communication department, which I'm a alum of, really taught me the structure of business and the process of working itself out. Graduate school also taught me very well how to calculate time and how much time is actually in 24 hours in a day and what you can do with that 24-hour period. So, when I moved to New York City at 23, fresh out of graduate school, one of the youngest people to step out of graduate school at 23, top of my class, I had already this sense of understanding business acumen and what it took to get a business off of the ground. Again, this comes from experience of being a literally a decision maker in high school. You know, how many high school kids get to hire their friends and, you know, everybody's working at the same place after school, you see? Yeah. So I was always someone who was into the business aspect of life. You know, if I would have been, you know, a doctor, I would have gone on to have my own practice or whatever the case may be. I would have always been that leader of my business. And I think it was in college. I was also one of the class presidents in college, class president my junior and senior year of college. And in college, it wasn't about governing our students. It wasn't about governing our class. It was more so about relating to our class, being, you know, the face for our class and, you know, really being that advocate, student leader, and voice for the administration. And what I found myself doing was creating a lot of events, you know, creating a lot of high-profile moments, moving conversations forward, and again, creating events. I was having so much fun doing so that I didn't realize that that was public relations and marketing and things of that nature. I just assumed it was a part of the student government job. So, you know, for me, I learned the process in high school. I took time and learned throughout, you know, my opportunities in college with student government, and I hit the ground running here in New York City. You know, and I quickly figured out that I was smarter than many of my bosses when I first started here.
Yes, what a great realization. You know, it sounds like you were just going through your life, Alvin, leading people, and then all of a sudden one day you woke up and you're like, hey, I'm a leader. I've been not because I decided that, but because I just look back at what I've done and realize that I've been leading people, and that's kind of my calling.
Absolutely. You know, I think it is to step into your calling. It is to, you know, step out on faith, be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. And I feel as if I am an influencer. I am here to shape pop culture. I want people to go out and buy a certain product because we said it's the greatest product out there. I want people to buy certain music because we said it's the greatest music out there. I really want to shape the conversations. And I think that, you know, that's where I am strong. I think that everyone listening, all of your great listeners out there, you know, take what it is that you do best, figure out how to make yourself stand out, and do it to the best of your capability.
This is interesting. You know, I work with a lot of PR people, and clearly it's a lot of, I get a lot of spray and pray, right? Because I write for a couple major publications and I have this show. And so I get a lot of that where it's clear that it's a PR agency that is just pushing this out to as many people as they possibly can without
Correct.
vision. So I can really see how the media model is a very different kind of a company. But what I think is the reason for that is that you've really taken your passions and you figured out how to turn that into a business. And I think what I'm hearing is the core of your passions is you want to lead and you want to influence. How did it go? How did it go from that to the company that it is? You know, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. And, you know, I sit here and get goosebumps as you ask me that type of question, because it, you know, you just flood back all of the memories of, you know, what has happened in your life and, you know, things that have taken shape. And, you know, for me, we can rewind back to about 3.5, 4 years ago, right at the end of my tenure at, you know, big PR sweatshops, if you will, and doing so much work. And, you know, I really stepped into my own as an adult, I would say about 4 years ago. You know, I also, outside of business, you know, right at 4 years ago, I had the distinct pleasure and honor of being one half of one of the first same-sex couples married in New York City back in the summer of 2011. And well, thank you. But, you know, I preface that thank you with, you know, that relationship is no longer. But it taught me so much about who I was, and it taught me so much about what I wanted out of life. And it, you know, we were catapulted into the national spotlight, as in, you know, you have friends who are backpacking across Europe and on these great fancy vacations because it's summertime, and they are tagging you in pictures. And, you know, I know that you are abroad and you're traveling abroad. I'm not with you. Why are you tagging me in a picture? Because you're holding up the local newspaper wherever you are, and myself and my now ex-husband is on the front cover of the paper smiling, you see. Wow. And that moment really catapulted and pushed us into the, you know, the national forefront, the global forefront of, being the face of, same-sex marriage and, interracial love and, those types of things. And it was that opportunity that really gave me the moment to organize what it was that I was doing, because I didn't want to, I backed that up a bit because we got, there was a book deal that came our way. And I was sitting there looking at one of my peers, a PR manager, and they were trying to tell me what to say and tell me what to do and tell me how to, be structured. And I'm sitting back going, hey, look, I'm one of the best in media training. Why is somebody sitting back trying to media train me as far as what I'm supposed to say about my new marriage and all of these things? So, that particular moment in time really gave me that energy I needed behind my back to start to step out on faith. And I saw that my day job and my night job, which was the same, PR, I started to pick up freelance clients. I saw that my day job and my night job were starting to conflict, and my night job, as in my freelance clients, they were becoming more of a priority, as in, their brands were taking off. Some of them got picked up for, TV shows and reality shows, and they needed my attention more so than this little check that I'm getting from someone else. I'm out there building someone else's empire. So again, I took all of that, and I was really able to step out on faith and start to build my own, because I knew what my own was supposed to be. That is why my agency is named The Media Model, because we are here to tell the public. We are here to shape, along with the public, what the media model is.
Wow, great stuff. Love that story. What would you tell somebody who's out there and they know that they're passionate about something, but they're not passionate about something, and they don't feel like it fits into one of the boxes of what we typically think of as a company, right? There's home improvement companies, there's PR companies, there's marketing companies, there's web development companies. But what if you have this passion that just doesn't seem like it logically fits into one of those boxes? What would you tell somebody in that situation?
Oh, that's a great one. Because I tell people this all the time, and they get a kick out of me. That saying of, think outside the box, think outside the box. And my understanding and my comprehension always goes back to, well, why was a box even created? Why am I even trying to think inside of outside of a box? There shouldn't be anything for me to think outside of, because I should have free range.
Yeah.
And when I started to make that transition into my own agency, my mentors and friends, they were trying to pigeonhole, and they were trying to put me in a box, as in, okay, well, great, you're going to be the next, whatever big agencies out there, and you're going to be the great media guy, and you're going to, and all of that was great, but to me it was like an underhanded compliment, as in, why do I have to be the next? Why can't I be the first media model? Why do I have to be? Yeah, why can I be the first? Why do I have to be the next great whatever? No, I want to be the first as far as my discipline is concerned, because I don't think inside of a box. To think outside the box makes no sense to me, because I'm not inside of a box in the first place. So what I would tell people is, again, be confident in what it is that you want to develop. Make sure that it is holistic, and really do the legwork. Make sure you do the research to make sure that whatever it is that you are building, whether it is a product, whether it is a service like PR, this is a luxury service. Make sure that it is the best service or the best product based on the holistic foundation that you have created. You can't let people tell you that, you have to be limited to a certain thing because this doesn't make sense. Go out there and create something. Literally, if you want a nail salon that, where you can wash clothes in the back, go ahead and do that. That may not make sense, having a nail salon and a laundromat in one location, but if that's something you want to do and it makes sense in your head and you can literally map it out on paper from A through Z on how it makes sense, go ahead and move forward with that. People laugh and then they copy.
People laugh and then they copy. I love that.
Absolutely. They laugh and then they copy. As in, I left a very cushy job, perception-wise. I left a very cushy job to do my own thing, and most people laughed at me. And now 3 years later, I'm sitting here continuously building a business portfolio, and those people report to bosses.
Alvin, what's the biggest lesson you learned on this journey?
Oh, wow. Great question. Yeah, that's one of those Barbara Walter questions there. I think the most significant thing that I've learned thus far on my journey is, honestly, it may sound harsh, but no one cares about what it is that you are trying to accomplish. As in, if things get rough, or if a check isn't showing up from one of your clients or whatever the case may be, no one cares enough to make sure your ends are covered, to make sure that your financial needs are met. No matter how much love you have from your family or your significant other or whatever the case may be, no one cares enough about what it is that you're doing to save you, since you have stepped out and you no longer have the safety net of a 9 to 5 or the safety net of a 401k. No one is here to save you. No one cares. And I think that is something very important for entrepreneurs and business owners to comprehend and digest. And it will make you a better person, because we spend a lot of energy on the woe is me, how is this going to come together? If you get out there, you do the work, it will come together. Do not have a sense about yourself that you can't function because you're waiting on someone else to do for you. Again, get out there and create your own opportunities so that you're not in a situation to want from the next person. Again, if you're wanting from the next person, that's just like someone cutting you a check every 2 weeks. So again, the takeaway that I want people to know, entrepreneurs and business owners alike, no one cares. And again, when I figured that out, life got a lot better, because I started to really focus on making sure that things were moving as far as I was concerned. Because again, if my invoices don't get paid, if a client doesn't feel as if I did the work, then the overhead of running an agency in Manhattan, I live and work in Manhattan, I got to pay the bills, you see? So no one cares. I can't run to my parents. I can't run to my grandparents and say, hey, this is a bad month for me. No, I have to plan in advance. I have to do the work, and I have to suck it up and get it done.
It sounds harsh, Alvin, but I think really what you do when you take on that mindset of nobody else cares is you take full, complete, and total responsibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is that full responsibility that has allowed me to live my lifestyle for the last 3 years, as in I have consistently seen gains for not only my agency and for myself, but also for my great team members. I could not be doing this right now without my great little team. And we are a business family over here. And it is because of these relationships that I am this aggressive. Maybe it's the New Yorker in me. I know those from Louisiana may not even recognize the business owner, in front of them once I talk to them. But it is the shark mentality. It is the I have to survive. It is the aggression that pushes you forward every day.
Amazing. Alvin, what does success mean to you?
Wow. Success to me means family. Success to me means love. It means happiness. This is why I refer to all of my clients and my team as family. They are my business family, because it honestly takes a village. I cannot do 75% of the things that I do without the comfort and the foundation of family, and that is what fuels my happiness. My happiness is fueled by knowing that I'm out there doing what I want to do. So success to me again is family, it's happiness, and it is love. It's not a check. I'm not out here and defining my success by the amount of zeros, on a check. It is I'm getting up every day to do exactly what it is that I set out to do. And even on those days when I'm, in a rut, I go back to a little newspaper clipping that my family took out for me when I graduated from college, looking at the little kid in his cap and gown. And at the bottom of all of these accolades about what Alvin has done throughout his matriculation of college, the last sentence says, Alvin is moving to New York City to be an entertainment publicist. And any time I get down, I read that newspaper clipping, because before everything, before stepping foot into New York City, I already knew what I wanted to do. And it is to stay the course. It is to stay on the plan and stay moving forward.
Amazing advice, Alvin. What's the last piece of information or advice that you'd want to leave our listeners with?
Wow. I think the last piece of advice that I would want to leave the listeners with is just make sure that you are running your business with character. Make sure that you are leading by example, and make sure that you are making decisions that benefit the collective. You are not, you are no stronger than your weakest link. You are, and in my case, I'm no stronger than my last media placement for a client. You know, I tell people all the time, have fun with this, you know, with this journey, as in your respective journey. Have a good time with this. You know, try your best not to major on the minor, because we all have 24 hours, and you are in control of how you spend your 24 hours each day.
What a great note to wrap up. You are in control of how you spend your 24 hours, and Alvin, you've been really smart about how you spend your 24 hours, clearly, and you've been such a huge inspiration. Where can we go to get more information about you and the media model?
Wow. Thank you. I'm, just humbled by all of these things, because, again, I'm just a little boy from Louisiana living out his dream. So anyone who wants to follow up and find out more information about my agency, The Media Model, they can check us out online at www.themediamodel.com, and feel free to shoot us a message online, check out some of our great placements, check out some of our great work, and I look forward to connecting with brands in the future.
Alvin, thanks so much for being on the show. I wish you the best of luck with everything that you do.
Jeff, great appreciation to you, sir. I'm so very honored to be on your show today.
What a great show. What great lessons Alvin shared with us. And what a great story. What a great guy. Just really enjoyed talking to Alvin. And I thought that he was a really, really inspiring guest. And I think the reason is because, there's just no stopping this guy. Because when you take complete and full, total responsibility for your own success, there is no stopping you, because there's no longer any excuses. There's no longer any reason not to succeed except for you. And when you have that mentality and that mindset, what do you think you do when you get up out of bed in the morning? You go do what you need to do to be successful. And that's what Alvin has done, and that is what you can do too. And if you want someone along your side, someone who's been there, someone to help guide and mentor you through that process of quitting your job and starting a business, you are in the right place, because we offer coaching here at How to Quit Working. Go over to howtoquitworking.com/coaching, get more information about our coaching and how we can help you quit your job and start an amazing business like all of our amazing guests on the How to Quit Working show. I will see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you, who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.